so much for attending. There is something exciting on this training in particular that we haven't done in previous ones is that we're doing a giveaway. So Elise and Tom, as you know, your account managers, they are doing a draw. So they've created a Valentine's Day self-love bundle gift set with a few of Bathorium's favorite products. So we have a full export list of everyone who's on at the end of the call. They'll then draw a name at random, and then you'll get a beautiful prize set. At least I think it's at least I think $150 value set, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely worth your while to stay on, and you can get some Bathorium soaks in your inbox. So stay on until the end of the call for everyone to enjoy that. All right, so we'll just dive right in. So Bathorium is in its 10 years of business. We're in our decade of decadence, is what we just celebrated this past November. And 10 years ago, I started the brand. I was actually a former bread baker. So I had a bakery in Toronto called Wellington Breads. And I made fresh baked artisan sourdough loaves for friends, family. And at the time, I was actually bartending at a luxury hotel. So I would sell the bread to residents and guests of the hotel. And what I loved about that experience is that I would always want to over delight them. So if they thought they were just ordering a really wonderful, cheddar sourdough, it would be, three different kinds of Munster cheddar, and it would have different artists, like you pulled it apart and they'd be like, pickle jalapenos and other things in there that really just over delighted the guests. And what I loved about that experience and my first taste of entrepreneurship was people would come down and they would tell me how much they loved that bread. And that was the best bread they had. And what I craved about that was making them happy. It was like I'm doing an act of service. I'm providing something. I'm making an experience with my hands, and then they're enjoying it, and then I'm watching them be elated and tell me how much they loved it. So that was my first experience in entrepreneurship. And in 2014, that summer, I actually left to Europe and I backpacked throughout Europe, starting in Ireland, and I finished in Italy. And when I was in Positano on the coast of Italy, I checked into this house rental, and this woman, she rents out different rooms to travelers, and she provided a bed and breakfast. So I checked in and I kind of snooping around a little bit, seeing the lay of the land. And in the master bathroom, she had this gorgeous wrought iron clawfoot bathtub underneath the window. And next to it had this shelving unit that had all these different like jars of clays and salts and dried botanicals and oils and essential oils. And I went in and I started kind of smelling some of these oils because even before Bathorium, I was a huge believer in bath as I grew up with three brothers and a multi-generational family that baths were the only time that I got to really have alone time and experience a version of self-care. Even though I didn't know it was self-care when I was younger, that's what it was for me. So I was always very bath inclined. So when I was in Italy, I'm smelling all these different essential oils. And the woman, she comes in and she says, I would love to draw you a bath. And I'd been in hostel showers for the past 6 weeks. So I said, yes, I would love a bath in this gorgeous tub. So she starts adding in different salts and clays, and she had different oils, and she had this block of cocoa butter and a cheese grater, and she was grating this cocoa butter under the hot running water. And I got into this bath, and it was like my Oprah aha moment. When I got in this tub, it was like I sunk into a big latte. It was so creamy. The smells were amazing. It felt like silk. And I knew at that point that I needed to share this experience with those at home because as a bath aficionado at the time, I had never experienced anything remotely like that. So when I came back to Toronto, I got back at that on that bar and I actually closed down the bakery. I stopped doing my breads and I moved everything to discovering more about what she used that day in the bath and what she didn't use. So what ingredients were in my bath products that I had been using that weren't giving me that experience? Like why did I have such itchy skin? I did never experience an experience like that. And that's what kicked off the discovery of what became Bathorium, where today, 10 years later, we're the renowned clean bath brand where we're very experiential and we're 100% bath focused. So everything within Bathorium's portfolio is dedicated to clean, efficacious bath soaks that really create that experience for the end user. So today, I still lead our R&D team and how we create new products that really go towards our mission of being formulated women's health first, that are formulated to evoke those experiences. And Bathorium's really becoming known as that go-to brand when you're creating those experiences for yourself, whether it's habitual, it's nightly, or if it's something with your children with our little Charlie line, or it's something that you might not have the luxury of a bath in your own home, but you might stay at hotels or places that do have soaking tubs that you can actually bring Bathorium and you can treat yourself at those experiences. So kind of as top level notes on the brand when someone's coming in and exploring and wants to know a little bit about Bathorium. What's really key to note is that all of our products are made with we're fragrance free, so we don't use any synthetic fragrances, perfumes in our formulation. All those beautiful aromas you smell, they're all from essential oils, from botanicals. We blend different ingredients together, different oils together to create those really beautiful aromatics, whether they're different layers in the tub or in the bag or when it hits the water or later on during the experience. Everything's crafted through natural fragrances. Colors is another thing. So all of our colors are natural. So everything is done botanically based. So things like butterfly pea flower, beetroot, turmeric, matcha, other different beautiful hues that Bathorium is known for are all done through natural ingredients, and we don't use any lake dyes or synthetic colorants that are known hormone disruptors and you want to avoid them, especially as people with sensitivities and who are looking to just have a really clean routine. Bathorium is also obviously a niche bathing brand, so we focus only in on the art of bathing. We don't do scrubs and shampoos and conditioners and soaps. Everything that Bathorium does around the ritual of taking a bath, whether you're looking at a nightly bath or bath for your kids or a bath during certain parts of pregnancy or postpartum. We have a bath soak that's designed for an ailment. It's all benefit-based bath soaks. So we'll dive right into a little bit about the product. Elisa, are you able to share your screen there with the training guide?
Has it
Oh,
ready
sorry,
there?
I apologize. So we're going to go into the bath bombs. So our bath bombs are what Bathorium started with in 2014. So when I came back from Italy and I started creating these experiences, bath bombs were really all the rage. They were the main vessel for an Instagram. People wanted that like bath art experience. So bath bombs is where we started. What's different about Bathorium is our bath bombs are about 30% heavier than a traditional bath bomb on the market. And that's because we load them up with really decadent oils. So things like cocoa butter, shea butter, kokum butters, mango seed butters, really dense, nourishing oils are in these bath bombs. And the main difference, though, too, as well, is that all the products are all the bath bombs are holistically drying. So we don't use any alcohols or linoleuls or any other chemicals that help dry out a bath bomb. So typically, a producer would make a bath bomb and they would add in some of these drying agents to allow the bath bomb to dry so it becomes rock hard and get it to market faster. Bathorium, we do a holistic drying method. So all of our bath bombs dry for 48 hours and they're rotated in humidity controlled rooms. And that allows the witch hazel, which is the toning estrogen that we add into all of our bath bombs, we allow it to dry naturally, and it just creates a much better experience for the end user. All of Bathorium products are also SLS free. SLS stands for sodium lauryl sulfate. It's a surfactant, and a surfactant is a bubbling agent. And all of Bathorium's products are SLS free. And in bath bombs and bubble bath and some of those kind of key categories, SLS is very prevalent in other product ranges. And SLS can really increase the pH of your bath. It can be it's a wonderful cleansing agent when used in the right areas, but brands sometimes will use SLS as a foaming agent because it's very inexpensive. But you really do, especially if you have sensitivities, want to avoid SLS as much as possible. So you'll see on Bathorium's all of our ingredient list, we use an ingredient called lathanol, which is a sodium lauryl sulfoacetate. It sounds very similar, but it's extremely different. They're actually not even remotely the same composition. They just sound the same because they have the same function. They're both a surfactant. But Bathorium's product, ours is an organic derivative from a coconut. Actually, coconut husk is what we create ours, and we ours sodium lauryl sulfoxytrate trades at about 1,000 times the price per barrel as SLS. So that's also why you get these beautiful creamy foaming lathers that those harsh drying effects or harsh cleansing effects that you do get from SLS. It's kind of a key differentiating factor. If someone is asking you about why we do have what they see as SLS. It's not SLS. It's kind of how we say crude oil is oil, but so is avocado oil. They're both oils, but they're very different. It's kind of the same as surfactants. Moving on, we're going to our crush line. So, or sorry, I apologize. I missed our snooze bomb as our number one seller, which I know we are sold out of right now. It's coming back in stock next week. So for all of you who are waiting to restock that, it is in stock next week. It is our number one seller. It's a great one for if someone's new to Bathorium and they're looking for what is the best bath bomb to choose from. Snooze bombs is a top seller because it's very gentle in fragrance. It's got bergamot, patchouli, pink grapefruit, and then tons of cocoa butter, jojoba, really nourishing ingredients. So it's a great one to go with to promote sleep at night after your bath. And then one of our key bath bombs, our signature bath bombs, is our Aphrodite. So Aphrodite is our colossal bath. This is also one of our key selling products around Valentine's Day, which we're in right now. Aphrodite is our largest bath bomb. It's here. It's about double the size as our current bath bomb. And what makes this really special is we use what's called rosehip oil, kokum butter. That's Kokum. It's our most nourishing oil that we use within Bathorium's production. It has gorgeous oils of black pepper and Bulgarian rose and fresh rose petals. And we actually steep this entire batch in a cocoa absolute. So all these oils and all these salts are steeped in a chocolate distillate. And what that does is there's not much smell, as you may know, off the nose when it's in the box, but when it hits the water, that's when it releases all those beautiful fragrances. So it smells like chocolate, rose, very decadent. You have about 12-minute detonation time in the bath. This is really a celebratory bath bomb. So this isn't something you're gonna market to someone who's just looking for a nightly quick bath. Aphrodite is something that you're gonna really save for a special occasion, or you're checking into a hotel that has a beautiful tub, or it's your birthday, whatever the special occasion is, the Aphrodite is a really wonderful scene setter to that experience. So if you haven't tried it, I definitely recommend it. If you haven't stocked up for this for Valentine's Day, I recommend you doing so really quickly. We just got pushed this morning into the Goop Valentine's Day guide. So it's a very exciting day here at Bathorium. They've chosen Aphrodite as one of her top Goop choices for this Valentine's Day. So something to definitely consider stocking if you don't already. Now, next is our Crush line. So Crush is Bathorium's signature line. This is really what put Bathorium on the map. Crush is actually the birth of an accident. So in 2016, we were getting ready to go on to a big TV show here in Canada called The Marilyn Dennis Show, for those who might be familiar. And she was featuring Bathorium in this big promotion. And at the time, we were, a much smaller company, obviously, and we made everything. Me and two of my staff made everything by hand, and we had prepared for this big sale. We made all these beautiful bath bombs, and then we had rotated them over those 48 hours by hand. And then we came in the final day to then wrap them, and when we pulled off all the molds, it completely fell to dust. And so we had no money and no time to replace it. So I sent one of my staff to Staples to print off labels. And I said, why don't we just call it, I don't know, Crush, like crushed up bath bombs. And so we go on the sale with these basically bags of Ziploc bath powder. And people bought it, and they came in in the following weeks, and then they wrote into our info at saying, where do I get more of these bath powders? All I see is bath bombs on your site, but I love this experience. And that's really what pushed Bathorium into this new era where we can have crushed powder that gives that same Bathorium bath experience, but in a more controllable form. You could use a lot of it. You can use a little bit of it. We can be more creative with what ingredients we use because we didn't need to keep it in a sphere form. We got to be a lot more approachable for people who bathe several days a week. So if you're buying a bath bomb for 3 baths a week, it can get very expensive. So Crush allowed us to become more habitual. So you're bathing with Bathorium several days a week. And now today, Bathorium comes in 2 sizes. So we have our one single sachet, which is this one here, one of our most popular products. One sachet is 1 bath. And then it also comes in our 5 bath bags. So 5 baths per bag at half a cup per treatment. And then Crush comes in the 5 scents. So 5 core scents it's available in. And we're going to do a little demo to kind of start things off. So as I'm sure most of you have obviously seen Bathorium or Crush in use, but we're going to do a little. Now, sometimes I do flood my desk as anyone who's been to a few of these trainings before. So we're going to try not to flood it today. So we're demoing here the Ancient Oat Hydration. This crush soap is a one of our most hydrating and one of the most nourishing crush soaps we have. And you can see here it's a dry powder. And it's actually 30% of this powder is actually a liquid oil. But the way we do it in our production is we blend it together with all those minerals, that wet oil. So it comes in a dry form, but when it hits the water, it melts. So when you add this in, it instantly starts to melt and it effervesces into this really creamy, foaming bath latte. It feels like you're in this big cappuccino, very nourishing. All of those oils now are melting. Are we going to overflow here, Elise? Are we going to overflow? I don't think so. I think we're good.
We'll start taking bets on whether Greg floods his office.
Exactly. And what's great about the Crush bath soaks is that you don't need to rinse off after. You want to let all this goodness soak in the skin. You don't need to apply any body lotion or body butter after. There's so many hydrating ingredients inside this bath soak that you really don't need to add anything afterwards. Some common questions we get about Crush soaks is it safe for jetted tubs? And it is. So it's safe for air jetted tubs at home. It's septic safe. It doesn't leave any rings or residue in the bath. And it's also, sorry, I don't want to waste any of that goodness. And the only place we don't recommend it is using it in outdoor hot tubs, which we often get asked about. You don't want to use it those because that's recycled water. So it's going to change the pH and it's going to change the sanitation of the water in an outdoor hot tub. So indoor bath use only. Also great in pedicure basins. So if you don't have a bathtub at home, great way to experience Bathorium is through a foot soak and a crush. I'm sure a lot of you use this in treatment in your spas. It's a great way to, again, see Bathorium, experience crush, and not be in a full bathtub. So back to Crush, we have the 5 blends. So 3 of them are formulated with dead sea salt as a base, and they've got a higher concentration of those nourishing oils. So that's Ancient Hydration, the Northern Sage Recovery, and the Eucalyptus Apothecary. Sorry, I apologize. That's the Ancient Oat, the Midnight Super Bloom. Those ones are more of our like nourishing, skin-focused bath soaks. And then we have 3 of the blends that are more magnesium-based. These are more for muscle recovery. These have a higher concentration of more of essential oils that are a little stronger. So it's more for like if you're sick, if you're stuffed up, if you got sore muscles, sciatic, a long day in your feet. These 3 here, the Northern Sage, Eucalyptus Apothecary, and the Shark and Guard Detox. These ones are getting more muscle focused. And of course, these ones they do have great skin benefits, and the skin ones have great muscle benefits. But it's kind of how we've targeted each one to be slightly different. The Northern Sage, one of my personal favorite, it's the Northern Sage Recovery. It uses a BC Blue glacial clay full of minerals. It's like a full body facial. And the smells in there are like coriander seed, and it's clary sage and wintergreen. So really, really great oils for this time of year when we all get kind of a little sinusy and a little stuffed up. It clears you right out. So 5 blends to choose from. What we recommend too is for your retail locations, the tester jars that I'm sure a lot of you have that are outside of the display, is to make sure you're keeping these fresh. So you want to change the soak within the tester jars, usually every 2 to 3 months, kind of depending on your area's humidity, how many people are opening it, are people touching with wet hands? You may have to do it more often, but it's really important given how unique each crush is that you're using the tester jars, you're replenishing them every couple months when the scent goes off. We don't have all of our preservatives in the products are natural. We don't use any any artificial preservative systems, so they will lose their potency of essential oils since they are exposed to air in the jars. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on that. Your account manager also provides you with the fill for these for free. So if you ever need, if your scents have gone off, you just write into your account manager or on your next purchase order, you can put it in the notes that you'd like some more tester jar fills, and we add that in complimentary. So something to keep in mind there as well. And if you're ordering on our wholesale portal, you'll see that within our display collateral, you'll see a category for free fill, and you can add in those free fills on every purchase order. So something just to keep mind of. Midnight Super Bloom, for those of you who haven't tried it, this is one of our signature crush soaks. It's also one of our newest. This one has butterfly pea flower and milled Bulgarian rose. So it's very sensorial. It turns the water a really beautiful blue. It has aromas of neroli and jasmine and fresh rosemary. This is the line that I'm sure if I've met any of you at trade shows, I've talked to you about how I built this line for Taylor Swift. And when she came to Toronto for the Eras tour, we were fortunate enough to actually have all these products in her room. So we were very fortunate to have her use this product. We're still waiting on the post, so if everyone can put that energy out into the world, we're still waiting. But Taylor did use the product, so that's all I needed to know. We're going to scroll on now into our next category, which is our elixirs. Sorry, which are eight pack crush set. So this is our gift set that I'm sure a lot of you carry. It's a really wonderful seller during high peak gifting season. So that's right now during Valentine's Day, into Mother's Day, and then obviously into Q4 with the holidays. It gives you the 5 core bath soaks that we use that are in Bathorium's collection, but also 3 exclusive ones that are only available within the 8-pack crush set. So that's the rosemary citrus emulsion, the vanilla cream, and the sea kelp serenity. So those are all available in the 8-pack. The guests will save a little bit when they buy in bulk, and it creates a really wonderful even gift for a hostess gift or a baby shower or other gifting periods too. Does really well, but something to definitely consider during high gifting seasons. Now we're going to scroll on into our next collection here, which is our BCom. So this is BCom elixirs. Our elixir collection, this is a bubble bath. And what's really important, like I mentioned earlier with SLS, bubble bath typically is the highest concentration of a surfactant. So bubble bath that you see at a pharmacy or at a drugstore, those ones are typically, if you look at the ingredients, the second or third ingredient is going to be SLS because these companies want to have big bubbles at a very little amount. So what's different about Bathorium is this uses a cocoa betaine. So cocoa betaine is a coconut-based surfactant. It gives you those big bubbles without those harsh drying effects. And the difference between an elixir bubble and a crush bubble is that the crush bubbles are that like really gorgeous crema, like a cappuccino crema, where the Be Calm bubble elixirs, those ones are more like the Julia Roberts Pretty Woman bubbles, where, you know, the scene where she's in with a Walkman. That gives you those big cream bubbles. You can use this on its own, or you can actually add it in with a crush, a bath bomb, or a treatment soak if you want best of both worlds. So that's how you can kind of be your own bathologist, is you can use this in conjunction with other Bathorium products. And what gives it that gorgeous color here, that's actually steeped in Earl Grey tea. So again, we don't use those synthetic colorants. We use all natural ingredients to color products. So this is steeped in black tea. So you get a really beautiful bergamot and lavender aroma to it. With the BCom, it is quite concentrated. So if you are with soft water, so if you're on city water, if you have a water softener, if you're in your hotel, your spa has a water softening system, a little bit goes a very long way. But 1 tablespoon will give you those big bubbles. Whereas if you are on well water, farther out in the country, or you don't have a water softening system, it's going to be a little more challenging. Harder water, the harder it is to get bubbles, kind of a rule of thumb. So you're going to have to add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of bath or of the elixir to get those big bubbles, or use one of our filters that we sell on our Brands We Love site. We use some filters that help filter out a lot of that chlorine and calcium within the water, and then you get bigger bubbles as a result. And it comes in the one size. I will mention at 473 mils is the size of this BCom, and then it also is available for wholesale in cases of 54 pieces of 60 mils. So they're almost like glorified sample sizes. So it's great to use if you're thinking of gift with purchase, if you're thinking of adding it into a gift with treatment or anything like that. We do also have this in a smaller size as limited edition. So if you're interested, please talk to your account manager and they can hook you up with those products. We are scrolling to our Little Charlie line. So Little Charlie's our dedicated kids line, and this is one of our collections that I'm so excited to talk more about this year. Little Charlie was created in 2017 when I was gifted my goddaughter, so to speak, from my brother, and his wife. And Kaylee was born with a lot of with eczema. She had cradle cap. She had cracking at the creases, and they used a lot of those steroid creams, different colloidal oat products that they found at the drugstore, and nothing was working. So I knew of the power of colloidal oat, coconut milk, oat protein oils done topically in the bath. And so I went to Bathorium in our little lab at the time, and I created what became Little Charlie. And Kevin and Charlotte, my sister and brother, they started using the Little Charlie prototype. And after 5 or 6 baths, Kaylee's eczema cleared up fully, and she's 7 now. And we haven't had a flare up since. So it really launched Bathorium into that kids line where we started identifying these gaps where there really wasn't a bath product for children that is 100% clean, food safe ingredients, has the backed clinicals and consumer perception studies. So that's where Little Charlie's really gained a lot of momentum in our portfolio, and a lot of parents have found Little Charlie, and our one of our most reviewed product, one of our most products that people write in about is like the thank you so much for creating this product. Thank you so much. I've tried everything, nothing worked. Now I found Little Charlie. So those kind of reviews coming back are really wonderful to see. And what's important to know about Little Charlie is there's the powder that's in the Little Charlie bath soak. It turns the water into like an oat milk consistency, and it's safe for newborns all the way up. So you just need to add about a scoop into a bathing basin, a bowl, a bathtub, wherever you're bathing the child. You're going to add that scoop in and then use that water to cleanse the child with either one of our Conja sponges in the Little Charlie collection or a washcloth. You just use that water to cleanse the child. Don't add any soap, any shampoo, and you don't need any lotion after. A lot of parents, when their child does have eczema, they load them with that baby lotion afterwards. On your first few times using Little Charlie, encourage your guests or yourselves to only use a Little Charlie bath water. Don't put any lotions on after. Sometimes diagnosing the root eczema is really isolating, and removing certain products to see what is the trigger. So Little Charlie, try and use it on its own, and see the effects of that with your child or your guests' kids. We also have a very exciting advancement with Little Charlie coming this year. We've signed some agreements with Sesame Street, so we'll be working with them in how we amplify Little Charlie and its product range within the collection. So some very exciting announcements coming later on this year. And we also came out with the bubble bath milk in Little Charlie. So this is meant more for the kids, kind of aged 3 to 7, where they're at that age where they really want bubbles in the bath. And this one here, it has the same formulation basing as our elixirs that I mentioned earlier, the BCOM, but we've changed some of these oils there to even be more aligned with Little Charlie. So it uses blue tansy, which is a chamomile essential oil. We've added in more oat extract. So you can use a little bit of that in the bath with your Little Charlie bath powder. And that's what creates those big bubbles. They're tear-free, it's safe for their mouth. It's not going to taste very good, but it's totally safe. And it comes in one size for wholesale, now it comes in both sizes. So it comes in a 250 ml size and also a 750 ml size, which is newer as of last year. So something to also look at if you're expanding your Little Charlie collection. There's more coming as the year progresses that you'll be well versed on as that comes to life. We're going to move now to these are some consumer perception studies we've done with Little Charlie. All this information too is available on the wholesale website. So if you want to learn more about this, or you have additional questions, or some of your guests or customers are interested, we have all this available on our normal site at bathorium.com/Little Charlie, but it's also available to you on the wholesale site. So you can really get a lot of this information for you after this call, if you wanted to dive into it deeper or share that with your clients. So we can keep scrolling down here. Some beautiful before and afters. Again, a line that we're so proud of. And then the milk bath, which lends itself really nicely because this is adult Little Charlie. So for a lot of adults, especially women in postpartum, they start to develop eczema later on in life when there's hormonal changes, even environmental changes, and some get flared eczema seasonally. Coconut and vanilla mineral soak is a great little Charlie for adults. So it's super soothing. It has those same like oat protein oils, colloidal oat, coconut milk basing to it. But what's different with this product versus our crush line is there's no citric acid. So there's no citric acid and there's no essential oils. So we've pulled all the essential oils out of the blend. And what we've done is it smells like vanilla and coconut because we use CO2s. We use different methods of infusing aroma into this bath soak without actually using an essential oil. So some new moms, especially or pregnant women who are pregnant, are advised by their doctors to avoid essential oils due to sensitivities and risk with using essential oils. So if that's the case and they've been cleared to bathe, the milk mineral soak is a great option to use where it's very gentle. It's got lots of magnesium, so it's going to target sore muscles. It's going to help with cortisol. There's really wonderful effects with magnesium that we'll talk about more in the next product here. But this is available in the one size, 650 grams, and it really depends on how many baths you get out of it because this one here. It's more concentrated in the crush soak, but some people you want to have more of an opaque bath experience. So you want to use a little bit more. So I say for every one of these baths, you're going to get about 5 to 8 baths for the large 650, but some people get a lot more, some people get a lot less, kind of depending on what your preference is. This one's less prescriptive than the crush soaks or the Hinokis that we're going to talk about shortly. Which leads us to the next collection here. This is Hinoki. Hinoki is one of our top selling brand products. It's actually 100% magnesium chloride bath flakes, and we source the magnesium chloride directly from Tibet. Whereas you see the crush soaks that you saw in the demo, it's very creamy and it creates a milky bath. The Hinoki doesn't. It creates a still soak. And let me just show you here. It's quite different in composition. It looks quite different. See how they're like magnesium flakes? I'm not sure if you can see my screen, my personal screen here. There we go. So see how they're all shale, almost looks like broken glass. This is 100% magnesium chloride. And the way we've scented it is we use dendritic salt, which is a sea salt derivative. And we actually it has like little micro holes in that. And that absorbs our essential oils of yuzu fruit, of hinoki, Japanese cypress, of ginger distillate. So really wonderful aromatics will fill the room once you use hinoki. And you can use this on its own, or you can use this with another Bathorium product if you want to increase your magnesium levels. Hinoki, we recommend about 1 to 2 cups per treatment. You don't want to use too much because too much magnesium can become a diuretic. So you want to use about 1 to 2 cups maximum for a full-size soaker. There's also different ways you can use Hinoki. My personal favorite is called blackout bathing. So I'll actually shut the door. I don't bring any phones or candles into the bath. I put a towel under the door so no light comes in. And I use a Spotify playlist that has low vibration sound frequency. I'll use Hinoki, and it's a really wonderful multi-sensory bath experience where you're feeling the tingle of that magnesium, those beautiful aromas you're much more attuned to, and your eyes adjust to the darkness and that little bit that sound frequency is really quite meditative. So some more again, great different ways to take baths are available on our direct to consumer site, but ideas for all of you in your own personal ventures. Also, the Hinoki does come traditionally in the one size, which is 750 grams, but we recently released last year 100-gram size. So it's a single serving of the Hinoki. So it's available as a limited time edition to Bathorium for our wholesale clients. It's something that you'd like to use in either spa retail, or you can actually use it in gift with purchase and treatment. Another great way to promote the wellness experience for bathers. This is also something too that's a great masculine bath where I don't believe that baths aren't gender specific, but some men are looking for a very different experience out of the baths, and they don't want maybe the more floral, the more milky, the more sweet scents. The Hinoki is very herbaceous. It has a lot of really great grounding wood scents to it, and very almost like a smoky aroma. So and it's also great for athletes because it's full again magnesium targets sore muscles, lactic acid buildup in the muscles. So a great one to go with for athletes as well who are looking for a magnesium bath. We're moving on to our last soaking collection. So this is our mineral mud bath. So these are like spa treatments at home. What's really important to remember about this collection is that these are going to create kind of a hydroscopic mud bath. So these are different than, again, the crushed soak that's very milky and creamy. This is going to create like an opaque yellow, green, or red experience. And that color comes from the mud and the botanicals. All of the clay that we use is safe for pipes. So many people like they think we're using a bentonite clay or a clay that's going to clog pipes, but you're totally safe. The one thing about this collection is it will leave residue at the bottom. It's no staining. You should rinse it off, but it's something that we do like to be transparent about. Typically, though, when a bather is using a mud bath or a spa experience at home, you're expecting that. So it's not a deterrent for the collection. But what's so wonderful about these is each one is so full of botanicals and ingredients that have so many antioxidant and great benefits associated with them. So my favorite out of these three is the Golden Hour. The Golden Hour is our mustard bath. So this one here is a little bit more medicinal. It's got ginger, white thyme. It's got mustard, mandarin. It has that French yellow clay, turmeric. This one's great if you're sick or stuffed up. And I'm not sure about any of you, but if your parents or grandparents used mustard baths as a kid, if you had allergies or seasonal allergies, if you were sick, a mustard bath typically would really help draw out a lot of those toxins and just help you feel better. That's the golden hour, and that really provides you that kind of full body tingle as well from the ginger. It stimulates a lot of blood flow. So you almost feel like a light tingling sensation head to toe. Really, really wonderful. And I recommend trying it if you haven't so far. My tip in there as well is I like to add in about a liter of goat's milk or cow's milk in the bath with my mineral mud. It helps bloom the clay. It helps really show that color. And then it also provides that beautiful like lactic exfoliation when you use a milk bath as well. So those are our mud baths. Comes in three sizes, sorry, three styles in one size, which is about three baths. Although some of our spa partners who are using this in back bar and bath butler service, they're actually using about a full bag per soak. Again, you can't overdo it. It's just going to create more of an intense experience the more you use. So you can do one full bath per bag, but you can also get about three 1 cup treatments out of each bag. And we'll move on here to our final product. So this is our only product that's not made in Canada, and it's our only not bath soak related product. So these are our Conja sponges. So the Conja sponge, it's very popular in Korean beauty, typically with facial, as a facial cleanser, as a facial wipe, or a facial tool. But we brought it to the body because I saw that documentary that I believe it was Diane Sawyer that did, where she went into the homes that had those loofahs that were all tied up, like those, those like plasticky, scrunchy ones. And she put them under a blue light and they lit up like a Christmas tree. They were dirtier than a New York subway seat. Because if you think about it, as you're using a loofah, it's gathering all that dead skin from your body, and then it's always in a moist, humid environment. And a lot of men don't change them as often as they should. So it stays a lot longer than it should, and it gathers that bacteria. So, and typically, if you're using a body wash that's very fragrant, you're not going to smell the aromas because there's so much artificial fragrances that are loaded into that sponge. So, all that to say is, after I watched that, I really wanted to find a cleaner, natural alternative. So Conja body sponges. These have been with Bathorium for about 5 years now. They're biodegradable. So every sponge, you're gonna add in your favorite body wash or use the bath water, and you cleanse your whole body with the sponge. They'll biodegrade in about 3 months. You'll start to see them like start to pull apart. That means it's into its end of its life cycle. You just throw it into your compost at home. They're 100% compostable. And then you want to hang them to dry between uses, and they're actually going to dry rock hard, and they're naturally micro antibacterial. So they're going to expel a lot of the bacteria that's within them. And then it dries rock hard. It's also a great indicator of how good your body wash is. So if you're using an Axe 9-in-1 body wash on one of these, it'll actually probably start to pull apart and deteriorate within 3 to 4 weeks. If you're using a more natural body wash that has gentler surfactants and a natural fragrance or essential oils, you're gonna get about 3 months out of it. So it's a great indicator of what products you're using in the shower. And it's a nice shocking effect that some people will write into us and be like, oh my God, my boyfriend's using this and his went, really quick. It split in half. So it's a really great indicator. So those are all products that kind of round out the collection. So that's what I have for our products. The only last part I'd like to touch on as a group is our sustainability. So really from one of our big focuses for the past several years now is really how to become a 100-year company is being able to be as sufficient as possible, as eco in mind as possible. So one thing that we're really proud of is so all of our poly packaging, so that's anything that comes in a pouch package. It's produced here in Canada with a company called Root Tree that's 100% powered on bullfrog energy. But what's exciting is that all these packages are 40% post-consumer recycled plastics. And their aim is to get to 100% by 2028. It's something that we're really working with them closely on as our product has some very specific nuances, being having essential oils, having some acidity to it. Our product will eat through compostable. It'll eat through a lot of those kind of eco options that are available today. So we have to really look at it strategically of how is our product going to be, 100%, how our whole brand is going to be 100% virgin plastic free by 2028. And we are making advancements in all of our wrap from all of our bath bombs. We're moving to a seaweed bioferment. We've been working with this company of Germany for the past several years. And we're getting to that kind of finish line of having a product that is actually plastic free, but it's still gonna have the same efficacy and it's the same ability to hold a bath bomb without it crumbling or dissolving in transit or with humidity. So one thing that you can implore your customers, your guests to use is to scan this QR code in the back of all Bathorium packages. This is going to lead you to our green initiative on Bathorium's website. It kind of walks you through how to fully recycle your product, no matter if it's a bag or one of our elixirs or a bath bomb or the cone sponge. It breaks down all the different pieces and how we recommend to recycle it. What's good to know too is that all the poly packaging bags, they can actually go right into your blue bin. So they're all blue bin recyclable, which is different than typically people put them in the garbage. They are recyclable. You can actually, when you scan that QR code, you can enter in your zip code or your postal code and it'll tell you if it is blue bin recyclable or not. Some regions don't support it yet. If you are in a region that doesn't support it, or if you have multiple products that you'd like to recycle, we're actually a part of the Pact brand initiative. So when you scan that QR code, you actually print a UPS waybill, and then you can actually create a box full of Bathorium packaging and other empty beauty packaging. It doesn't matter if it's our brand or if it's a Pact brand. You can add in different serums and bottles and whatever you'd like. Ship it back to Pact. Bathorium pays for that, and then they take it and they break it all down and to go back into the recycling supply chain. So we are making quite a concerted effort. There's a lot of budget behind how do we continue to make Bathorium as carbon neutral, as plastic free as possible as we go into the next decade of Bathorium. So some very exciting things that you'll all be well informed on as we make those advancements in the company. But that's what I have for today in terms of our training. How are we on time, Elise? Oh God, we're doing great. We can open the floor to any questions that anyone may have. I know I've been talking quite a bit, so if there's anything that you'd want to raise, we can do a little Q&A here. And you can either type it in the chat or you can go off mute, and we can have the conversation.
I was just speaking with Catherine about hard water when using Crush. So that will be a little bit harder for the Crush to have that crema. So we recommend the filter. Is that correct, Greg?
Yes, you got it, Elise. Yep, yep, you got it. What's my favorite product? Oh my gosh. I can never choose that, but I would say like Hinoki is I would say the most Hinoki is like by the way whenever I travel, you'll always find a bag of Hinoki either hidden from TSA or hidden in a bag somewhere because I can't take a bath without it. But the Northern Sage is wonderful. I'd say like the Emerald Detox Mud Bath I use all the time. There's not a product that I don't absolutely love. Um, Krista, Control, even Little Charlie. Yeah, the milk bath or Little Charlie would be great. If they actually don't have a bath too, what's really cool about the Little Charlie line is you can actually mix it with a little water or Greek yogurt, and you apply it like a paste and leave it on your body until it dries rock hard, and then wipe it off. It's a great way to get that same benefit from that colloidal load, that protein oil, without taking a bath. So yes, definitely I'd recommend the Little Charlie or the milk. Amazing. Well, that's wonderful, and I'd like a little preview of what's to come for this year. So, our product team is working quite diligently on how on what our Q4 and Q3 look like. We've got some great gift sets coming out this year that you'll be very excited about. The Sesame Street launch, which will be available for retail and direct to consumer. We're working on a couple other new crush blends, some new bath bombs that are really going to change the view on luxury bath bombs that I'm very excited to show you that I've been trying out here for the past few months, and it's I'm really excited to show that with all of you. So there'll be some new products coming in that kind of late Q2, Q3 under our sister brand, the Bathologist, which I know a lot of you carry and work with. There's some exciting new body washes that are coming out within the 3 cents of hydrate, sleep, and recover. If you'd like to know more about Bathologist, please reach out to your account manager, and they can also send you more information on that line. But that's also something that's coming about that we're really excited about. Okay, well, I think uh thanks, Mar. Thank you. Well, what we'll do is we're going to circulate this training video to all of you for you to share with your teams if you'd like. And then we also do this quarterly. So you'll get an email every quarter with the next date. So always lock it in your calendar, and it's a great chance to have more people from your team tune in to see to learn more about the brand. We're going to reach out to the winner. Elise and Tom are going to draw that winner shortly. We'll reach out with that gift set. And please, if you are looking to stock more Bathorium products before Valentine's Day. We are in a peak period right now, so please get your purchase orders in as soon as possible. Just so it gives you ample time to get that order out to you, and for you to stock on your shelves. Because Bathorium is a wonderful product to gift around Valentine's Day for yourself or for one another. So, thank you all so much, everyone. Thank you for attending. Thank you, Elise, for hosting this. I really appreciate it, everyone, and everyone stay warm for those of you in
Yes,
cold
stay warm
climate.
and take a bath. That's your
Yeah,
homework.
that's exactly.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone.